I'd like to cut across first to Dr. Roy, senior resident protesting doctor still. Dr. Roy, Mamata Banerjee shortly given out a statement saying that she wants the accused to be hanged. Strangely, she says as early as Sunday, understanding, I'm sure, the due process and protocol of law. She says she's going to take to the streets, and importantly, she says, Dr. Roy, that the West Bengal government did everything that they could. Do you believe her?
Hello, am I audible?
You're audible, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, the first thing I want to mention that why the parents were informed about the suicide. That's the first point I want to make. The second point, the police started the investigation as UD, means unnatural death. And usually unnatural death comes to the picture where there is a chance of suicide or any accident. But as the crime scene, as we know, that it was very evident that this was a case of rape, maybe gang rape and murder. But police started the investigation as UD. From the very beginning, they tried to hide the facts and misled everything. So I don't believe, and later on, recently we also saw that the crime scene, there was some construction going on after such heinous crime, which should have been protected and under monitoring. So I don't believe that the intention of the case or for the solution, the intention was not right, and there may be something fishy, and maybe the government or the administration is trying to hide anything or someone.
Dr. Roy, tell me something. You're a resident doctor yourself. With at least what is coming to light now, 150 grams of semen in her vaginal cavity, the pelvic area completely crushed, the pelvic girdle possibly broken. All of this, does it point out to the accused being definitely more than one?
Yes, definitely. 150, it's too much. It's for, and I didn't see the postmortem report, but I saw the injury report, and from the injury report and the nature of death and all these specifics about the amount of the fluid that is collected, it is very evident that there were multiple people involved. This was not possible by a single person. This is very evident and very clear. That's why we need a fair investigation so that real culprits must be hanged. This is also our demand. I completely agree with our Honorable Chief Minister that the culprits must be hanged, and the real
Dr.
culprits.
Roy, the Chief Minister has also said...
real heads, not the headphone theory.
All right. Dr. Roy, you and your colleagues, and understandably, with what has happened, are still protesting. Now, the Chief Minister has urged you doctors to go back and return to work as you're needed as doctors. Are you going to heed to that plea by the Chief Minister, asking you to return back to work, number one? Number two, if not, what is the end result? What are you looking at now? When will you end your protest?
Okay, to answer your first question, Chief Minister requested us to join our duties. I am also requesting our ministers and everyone that in our profession, in our medical profession, we learned many things. We are still learning that how to treat patients, how to save lives. But nobody ever taught us that you join your duty when your colleague is brutally gang raped and murdered. Nobody taught us that. Can you even imagine what is the feeling of those doctors, lady doctors especially, what they are going through right now? What is their mental status right now? How can they join duty? Because it could have been anyone else. Anyone else. We don't know. If it was pre-planned, that's a different thing. But if it was not, then it could have been anyone. And not only doctors, if not only, there are female patients, sisters, and everyone in the world. So it is very difficult for us also to just forget everything and join our regular duties. We are not built for that. We are here to save human life, but we are also humans. We have also emotions. We also fear things. So we are also sad. We are also angry. So the administration administration have to understand that.
And Dr. Roy, one can't imagine what you said. Can you imagine? No, we can't. Yes, sir, go ahead. Second question, please.
Yeah, and about the protest, there is a resident doctor association across all colleges are doing regular meetings. Members from each and every college of West Bengal are joining this protest, and anonymously we are taking decisions. So next we will wait for 48 hours and let's see what CBI comes up, and it is our urge to the CBI to give us frequent press release or what are the updates about the investigations, what are going on right now. So let's see, and whatever decision the Resident Doctor Association or the RDA takes, we will carry forward that in all over West Bengal.
Well, I appreciate, Dr. Roy, that you joined us. I just want to cut across to our political panelists this evening. Shikha Mukherjee, before I go across to the spokespersons of political parties, I want to ask you, optics-wise, perception-wise, for a chief minister who's always championed women's rights, for a political party which has a number of very strong-willed, vocal, women who've always spoken up when, there is a question concerning the rights of women and women empowerment. Today, strangely silent. If the party could turn around and call Sandesh Khali a political conspiracy, this is no political conspiracy, Shikha Mukherjee. Do you see this possibly the biggest test for Mamata Banerjee, which she seemingly, optics-wise, perception-wise, is failing?
There have been multiple tests for Mamata Banerjee, and she's managed to overcome all of them. She's managed to sort of leap over the problems that have occurred. She's leapt over her own utterly insensitive statements when she talked about there was a lady who was raped in a car, gang raped in a moving car, after she left a nightclub in Park Street years ago. And her reaction to that was, it was a staged incident. So she has managed to weather all of that. This, I think, is one incident where the outrage at Calcutta, the outrage across Bengal, has continued to build instead of abate. And that, I think, is the most significant thing that I'm seeing from what is happening here. There's also, the other thing that I'm also noticing is that the public at large is being very patient. The incident happened on the 9th. The doctors went on protest on the 10th. Today is the 14th. After 4 days, the public is being very patient in waiting for the doctors to come back to work. This is unusual in Bengal. People generally tend to demand that the doctors come back to work, the outdoors are fully functional, etc. People are waiting. In other words, there is a very, very large base of people who are challenging Mamata Banerjee's assertions that the police did its best. They are questioning Mamata Banerjee's commitment to getting things done. They're also saying in their own way that women perhaps are not as safe as they would have liked them to be in Bengal. Now, these are very serious problems that Mamata Banerjee is facing. And these are real problems. She knows it. That is why she's hitting the streets on the 17th in a bid to try and put herself where the public is.
Right.
I don't know whether that's going to cut ice with the public.
No. All right, okay. Viju Datta, I want to bring you in, and let's talk politics now. Why shouldn't this be politicized? it's the damn job of politicians to politicize something like this, Riju Datta, wouldn't you think? It was your right to politicize Hathras, and you should have at that point of time. It's the right of the BJP to politicize this with whatever has gone down in West Bengal. So to say, because I'm just quoting your leader, Mamata Banerjee, to say that we should not politicize it, we should politicize it. Because that's one good thing that politicians do when they politicize something like this.
Yeah, BJP and the opposition political parties in Bengal, they have the right to do politics. That is the democratic right. But there is a difference, Preeti. We cannot compare apples to oranges. In the Arjikor horrific crime and the heinous crime that has been committed in Arjikor Medical Hospital, from day one, the chief minister has been on ground. She has spoken to the family members. From day one, she has been talking about an independent probe. Within 24 hours, the primary accused is nabbed. And the case she wanted to give to CBI, but the High Court gave it 2 days earlier. But when you talk about other places where Trinamool has gone, like you will say, Trinamool, why did Trinamool send their delegation to Hathras then? You also politicize. But in Hathras, if you remember, the dead body of the victim was not found. It was burnt by the UP police. Here, in presence of the parents, in presence of a district magistrate, the victim's body was post-mortem. If that would have been done in Bengal, everything would have been gone astray. The bottom line here is this. Rather than mudslinging, whataboutery and all this nonsense, I want to make 2 very important points. First, I am outraged the most. And the only other person who's outraged the most probably...
Riju Datta, I know I'm coming in. I hate to do this and I rarely ever do it. Before you express your outrage and the points that you're outraged on, allow me a rebuttal. Answer these 3 questions for me. You said Mamata Banerjee wanted to give the case to the CBI. No, she did not want to give the case to the CBI. Quote unquote, Mamata Banerjee had said that I'm going to wait till Sunday. If the police doesn't crack the case, then I will give it to the CBI. So it's not 2 days, it's a good 6 days before that the case was handed over to the CBI. Number 1. Number 2, I want to ask you, Riju Datta, why is it that the principal of this medical college, who anyway had charges of corruption against him, was removed because the students wanted him to be removed, only to be reinstated in an equally prestigious medical college hours later? Then, to be asked to be removed by the High Court. It baffles us, and we want answers, Riju Datta. Number 3, why is it that the interim principal of the Arjikar Medical College, which is a government-owned medical college, right now has a principal who is associated with your own health minister? Once again, a political appointment. Number 3, and we can go on and on about the sheer fact, and it is appalling that the government-owned college's administration actually had the audacity to tell the parents of this young 31-year-old girl that their ward died of suicide and not of what was physically evident. As doctors, they should have bloody well known.
Okay, thank you. You asked me 4 very pointed and questions, and doubtfully so. I'll answer them one by one, each and every one. Number 1, you said why 7 days? The resident doctor from Arjikor is here. When the postmortem was done, and the postmortem report is only available to the family members, to the Calcutta High Court and to the Calcutta Police, and nobody else. We only have the inquest report. The postmortem was videotaped in presence of a district magistrate, and swab samples were taken from the victim's body, anal swabs, vaginal swabs, even nipple swabs, and the blood was collected from the primary accused, this Chandra Roy, this animal, and it has been sent for DNA mapping. So everything cannot be... So she wanted the investigation to unfold. She never said that, that nothing will happen. Point number 1. Point number 2, this principal Shondeep Ghosh, I am not here to defend him. The protesting students of Arjikor demanded... their first demand was remove the hospital authority or the college authority because they have failed us. So the Trinamool Congress or the ruling government removed the NSVP, the principal, the HOD chest medicine, and they also removed the ACP of the local jurisdiction. Every one of them were removed. They were not sacked from their job. They were removed to be posted somewhere else. But the National Medical College students even protested, and the High Court intervened. We are not here to talk about him or defend him in any way. Third question you asked, that this new principle is somewhere related to the health minister. It is news to me. I do not know. But you also have to understand that every doctor in this nation also goes and casts their vote. So every doctor in this nation has some political affiliation or the other, or some political ideological belief.
She was
I'm not going to go
fine.